Workshop's Basement, hosted by John Quennell, Danny McDevitt, I'm Dicky, and it's Grim After Dark.
Guys, welcome to Grim After Dark, Warhammer 40,000's only late night show for some reason. My name is John, and I am poorly lit but ready to misinform, annoy, and talk about the goings-on in the world of Warhammer over the last week. Warhammer, it's a new game. It's a task so massive, I cannot do it alone. Thank God I don't have to, as we welcome our amazing, humble, award-winning co-hosts who definitely don't talk in my ear when I'm trying to intro. First up is my good friend. He's back, he's rested, he's ready to annoy. It's Daniel, the Steed McDevitt.
Nope.
Danny, the week off has done you the world of good. You're looking happy.
Oh, shit.
Healthy.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, boy.
Hey, am I producing this?
No.
Sick.
Guys, that is, in fact, our resident comedy genius and all-around fantasy enthusiast, Valerie Heffelfinger.
It's me. What's going on, John? Hey,
What's
John.
going on? Hey, Val. Nice hat. No one told me it was hat day. If we go to Danny over here, too.
Wait, my mother-in-law? Oh, I didn't know we were ordering sushi.
Yeah, no one told me it was hat day. Already letting us know in chat of our high production values. That's okay. Guys, how are you doing?
Is that a Callaway golf hat, Danny?
No, it's a fly fishing store it's a outdoor store in Alaska.
All right, good enough. Can you buy firearms there? Probably.
It's
I don't think you can, but maybe you can. I don't know.
Hey guys, happy Tucker Carlson got fired day.
I was gonna say it was the Tucker Carlson of this show.
Nah, you don't want to be. You don't have enough bow ties. What a joyous day! Let's just have fun tonight, guys. I'm feeling pretty light.
Yes, yeah. And Danny, you don't have sexual thoughts about purple M&Ms quite enough to fulfill the role of Tucker Carlson. That's why we have Dicky, who's holding it down in the production office here. But
I've got a search history that begs to differ with that, John.
much like our friends Tucker Carlson over at Fox News, we do have breaking news that I caught last week when I screenshot it. It's this guy right here. It's letting us know.
Give me a second. Sorry.
We're being told.
We're being sued by Dominion.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Sorry about that.
The former grocery store from Canada. Okay.
Perfect.
Look at this.
We're on screen now. Ha!
Oh my God.
For you, Kelsey, who has high production values now.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Looks like the Boomer React show's got some reactions now.
What is even happening?
Sick.
Guys,
How have we not done this before?
I found this guy. It turns out,
Ineptitude.
if you give Dicky enough notice and you don't just be like, hey, can you do this 3 minutes before our show? He does it pretty quickly.
Rich and I both came up with this idea over the weekend, and we've been doing the show for 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
2 years. 2 years. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I do want to say, it says here, the internet is raging at GW content creators for shilling now. Danny, I'm going to ask, were they shilling are they mad now, or were they mad for the whole time the GW's been giving stuff to content creators?
Oh, the internet? Yeah, they've been mad this whole time, dude. It's been a rough ride for the content producer, the young content producer that gets free product. You know, the hate that you get online, the evil looks. Sometimes I've had people spit on me.
Can you hear the hate through the sprues that you've got stuffed in your ears? By the way, it's dangerous. You shouldn't do this. Like Q-tips. Nothing past the outside.
Just got to dab my eyes with Harrowdale and just dry my eyes with a Glock in.
Just a random clock in, just hanging out. Okay.
It's just really sad.
You stop the flood in your basement with just old Underworlds box sets that have never been opened.
Yeah,
guys, I'm told Harrow Deep is the tabletop card battle game. But
really,
more importantly, I did read that article on Spiky Bits while I skimmed it and looked for bold. Why I skimmed it and looked for bold text, because that's how, when you're a good writer, to emphasize your point, you just put it in bold rather than drawing people in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They did say these comments and others like those on our social media echo the ones we saw in other content creators' socials after thanking GW for their free Lion, Azrael, and Dante models, which at this point, Danny, I don't remember thanking them for the lion. But we do want to point out, it says here, slide 2, Dicky. Boom.
Oh, God.
So we do want to point out that we do not accept products from GW. Buy everything we feature from local game stores. If they can't get it from GW, we don't get it. Pure and simple. Before we move on to kind of our response to this here, guys, why is the free in quotation marks?
The free quote line as real. Oh, because obviously it's a quid pro quo.
Right.
And also, Dicky, I'm not centered in my frame for the second week in a row. God damn it!
You got a little white gap there, bud.
Jeez, just relax.
This is the kind of stuff that we have to deal with on a daily basis. This is why Dicky is constantly stressed.
Val is such a prima donna, I tell you. It's like
Also,
you guys don't see it.
You
in
know
the
what?
background.
While I'm at it, John, just straighten the curtain out, just a little, just even a little bit, just like kind of just.
This guy right there?
Any of it. Like it's basically like my underwear on my floor right now is what your green screen is.
That's true.
I could have said all of this before we went live. I apologize. Thank you, Tech Free Sticky.
You're welcome
for doing that. I appreciate that very much.
Just for you. No.
Oh, no, your
in fact,
top side now is off.
I'm going to pull this away and just we're going to be great right over here. So.
The peek behind the curtain, if you will.
Yes. Oh, that's actually kind of that. You just discovered a cool thing you can do. Actually, thanks to my bright thing. You can just disappear when you feel uncomfortable.
Disappear. I wish I do often.
You can't feel his face, folks. You can't feel his face. It's the cocaine.
I will say, super quick. I wanted to make a statement on behalf of Grim After Dark. Dicky, you'll know when the moment's right, but when it is, switch to slide 3.
Yeah.
But at Grim After Dark, we value transparency and integrity in all of our business practices. As such, we do not accept unsolicited sponsorship offers from companies that are unaware of our existence or have not expressed any interest in sponsoring us. And we believe that this policy helps us maintain our independence and ensure that our partnerships align with our values and mission. Like right here, I bought my Ford truck from a parking lot or a truck sales place. Car lot, there we go.
A parking lot?
Do you own a vehicle? Because nothing you just said suggests to me you even know what they are.
That is true. But I want to show like this next slide here, Dicky. Like we are not, I will not take a free Ford truck because if you can't buy it at a dealership, I'm not going to take a free one,
right?
Because
I will not accept a 4-wheeled motorized contrivance at your reputable contrivance store. I will not take these things from you.
No,
and
I'm sorry.
We'll definitely not, talk and be sponsored by Learjet for any kind of G5 or whatever else they may choose to bequeath upon us or not. I'm just saying.
The important thing I want to put across here with this advert here saying Ford is that this company does not know or care that we exist.
Nope.
But we want to specifically say that we don't accept product from them.
Quick question on the topic of Ford, though, if I could just digress slightly. Has anyone noticed that there are like multiple sizes of the new Bronco truck? Anyone understand why that is?
No.
Cool. I don't want to.
What's a truck, Val?
Oh, Jesus.
Something the Americans really love.
Oh,
Bronco's a horse, Val. It's not a car. A Bronco's a horse.
Unbroken horse, much like this show.
Yeah, unbroken.
Wow.
Let's break it a little bit. I found some green text on
just
on
like
the site.
Katia. Let's go.
Danny was very sad about this one here.
It was.
There's a guy here, plays Nurgle Marines. He was actually a pretty good painter.
No.
The manager asks why he never uses GW paints and only brings in his own. Guy gets a bit upset. Thinks the manager is trying to push GW paints on him. And guys, we've all been there. We've all had that sales push. The manager apologizes. He was just trying to make conversation. And he keeps going through, you guys could never make paints as well as I make them. And they respond, wait, you make your own paints? And he puts on a creepy voice and says, yes, Papa Nurgle blesses my paints. A couple of people laugh nervously, and the manager looks at him deadly serious and says, Andrew, what do you mean by that? Andrew grins and refuses to answer questions or make eye contact. He just giggles. Manager is worried now, and so are we too. Andrew just tells us, what do you mean? only the best ingredients in Nurgle's paints. A bit of my poo for you. The manager asks, Andrew, did you mix shit into your paints? He laughs and refuses to make eye contact. They call his parents. The parents come and begin talking to Andrew, and yes, he has been mixing his own feces with his paints and using them to paint his models, which he's then played with on boards in games that other people have touched. And I think the most disturbing part of this article here is when it says that there was food on the table beside where those models were. Now, guys, how would you rectify that situation? Is it acceptable to have food on a gaming table?
Good question. By food, do you mean this kid's paints? Is this your way of saying you eat ass to everyone? Like, is this your way of just announcing it?
Daddy, it's 2023 and it's not June. You can't say that stuff.
Pretty sure
I will say
buttholes was some time ago in vogue at this point. However,
Val, this show's 2 years behind. It's fine. We're good.
It's shot mainly in Alaska, so it's going to be 2 years behind easy.
All I was going to say is that, I mean, Danny's famous for don't touch my fucking dice. Which I think that's probably because
he gets really mad. It's really funny.
There's a reasonable level of expectation of errant fecal matter on a good proportion of perhaps you might call them the 40K playing public on their hands due to
not a lot of hand washing going on in the bathroom.
Lackadaisical, you're right. Hygienic procedures in the bathroom, if there is soap available, for example, even at the said gaming store you're at. So I find the concept that they would suddenly shut everything down to hose it off a la Caddyshack, and the pool draining and as a result of the suspected dookie floating in the pool. I find this a bit hard to believe myself, and from such a credible source as 4chan, I'm kind of surprised.
Danny, you did bring this up as well. Do you believe this is fake? Because chat's coming in with some fire here saying that did anyone want a pot of John Brown or Danny Tan?
I prefer the Hangover Black.
It's a dry paint.
It's definitely a technical. It's certainly a technical paint. You could just call it typhus corrosion. I think that would be accurate.
That's fair.
Off of this,
This is a pretty awful for dry brushing, though. So hey.
This is a pretty terrible, indication of the fan base and kind of players in general. But what army has the legitimate worst fan base of any player? Can't say orcs because they yell.
What army has the worst fan base?
Yeah, who is the most irritating fan base?
I think it's got to be Tau.
Yeah, I was kind of stuck between Tau and Chaos Space Marine players as the worst.
Oh yeah. Those are two good picks.
Chaos Space Marines are bad, yeah. It's awful.
Yeah. Those would be my choices. Probably I would pick Tau though.
Yeah.
Nice.
In general.
Well, let's get out of this disgusting pit of shit talk and get some loving going on.
Who painted?
As we found this guy here, where I even added a GIF for fanciness. This one says, any horny idiot could fuck the Swarmlord. Look.
What? I don't think that's true.
but would you care for the Swarmlord?
No.
Rest his huge head against your body, tracing along his carapace with an idle finger as he describes the icy aloneness of being the sole sapient among all his siblings.
Maybe.
Soothe him when he awakes from nightmares of past deaths. Assure him that he is so much more than a tactical machine and a set of blades, that he is worth beyond capacity for violence. Nobody ever thinks past the first night.
I rather enjoyed this bit.
Guys, how would you romance the Swarmlord?
Well, I think you have to get a selection of the finest biomatter, first of all. Just kind of set the mood, the tone, make sure that your pheromones are in order.
He's like, is this upper middle class child? And you're like, yes, it is.
It's actually the scent of their fear. And then make sure that your infrasonic roars are just the right frequency. And I think with those things combined, surefire.
Val, how are you romancing the Swarmlord?
Well, maybe. I mean, perhaps I'm a little out of date on my Swarmlord approaches, but I thought, a lot of times things don't even get out of the first turn with a Swarmlord, and maybe that's what I would do. Just try and at least get to second, maybe third turn with the Swarmlord is what I'm looking for.
Val just unloads on him really early, and then he's just done. Just moves on to the next one.
That's fair.
Swarmlord, Danny, you kind of hinted would be very hard to romance, being that he's a sentient monster. But what would be the easiest Tyranid to romance?
Oh, come on, let's go.
Probably the Carnifex, because they're already interested in intimacy with the way that they hug you and bring you close to their chest-feeding receptacles.
Danny, we know the Tervagon's putting out.
Yeah, the Tervagon puts out, but it might not put in.
Dude, that's what the Tervagon has legitimately 8 million children. It's got to happen somehow.
Right? I mean, probably not picky. Probably not being too picky.
You're right.
No. I was going to say the Demacharon because it wants you inside him. And it will not stop until it does.
This is a pretty common trait of most many Tyranids. I didn't realize how thirsty this entire race was. And this is a drum I beat a lot. It is one of the only sexually reproducing factions in 40K, explicitly sexually.
Right.
Yeah. What would be the hardest Tyranid to romance?
Oh man. Gotta be old One Eye.
You seen it all.
Oh,
did anyone else just realize that old One Eye is a euphemism for penis?
Euphemism, right?
Did we all just come to that conclusion?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't. Sure. I didn't pick up on that until just literally right now.
God.
It's Val, it's legitimately a one-eyed monster.
It's still One Eye.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you got to watch out for his bioplasma.
What's crazy is even though he was created in Britain, a lot of the skin's been removed from around his face. So
that hardened carapace.
They're American consumer.
Yeah, that's fine. For me, it would be the Norn Queen. Would be the hardest because she's really working on herself right now, not looking for a relationship. She's going to find out who she is before she settles down and devours the planet.
I just feel so naive. I just feel so naive now. I don't.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, we're going to go adjacent here to wargaming, but this one here kind of piqued my interest a little bit. Is that this guy is demanding $250 million because he claims Amazon's Rings of Power ripped off his Lord of the Rings fan fiction. Don't worry, guys. This clip sent me down a rabbit hole of fan fiction we will explore. But what's your thoughts on this? This guy is saying that Lord of the Rings, the basis for all fantasy created, ripped off his fan fiction.
I mean, it's not entirely absurd.
I guess it could happen.
It totally could happen, especially. I mean, they did sort of have to fill in a lot of blanks. I'm pretty sure. I haven't watched this series, but
it seems like though that if they loosely follow, or he loosely followed J.R.R. Tolkien's kind of narrative at all, that they could easily be shown to be derivative of that, and thus very similar.
Now, Danny, as a man of the law, though not officially the law,
of course, he's official.
Are you official now?
Official where?
That's right.
Are you a lawyer now?
No, I'm not a lawyer.
Best lawyer in Colombia.
Whoa! Official how? Oh, lawyer? Oh, no, I'm not a lawyer. Got it. No, certainly not. But ever since hot coffee,
I was gonna say,
ever since
Daddy
hot coffee,
getting more...
I no longer just scoff at what I deem to be frivolous lawsuits because that lady got burned real bad.
Like if you have any idea of the background of that case, like
it's fascinating.
McDonald's spent so much money trying to make it look like it was such like a frivolous lawsuit and a bunch of bullshit, and really the reality is it was
horrifying,
horrific thing that happened to this woman.
So maybe this guy like poured his heart, soul, and life into a like a screenplay that Amazon was like, we've spent so much money on this, why don't we just steal this random guy from the internet's fan fiction? Maybe that's what happened here. Possibly.
Also, my favorite now thing is Danny's increasing frustration with having to continually correct the fact that he's not a lawyer. The pause in between me saying something incorrect and you answering is getting longer by the week. I'm here for it. Guys, I did some research after reading this, but what is the worst fan fiction that you guys have read?
Do you guys read fan fiction?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not blatantly aware. I wrote some Warcraft 2 fan fiction when I was in grade.
Wow.
I want to say 4.
Do tell.
It was just a story about some guys in the Warcraft world fighting each other. That was it. It was kind of fun.
Nice.
But that was for like a school assignment. But it was my own supply. That's the closest I think I've come to it.
In the process of researching this next bit here, I did find a fan fiction, which was a crossover between Warhammer and Star Wars and My Little Pony.
That's a lot.
Wow. Yeah, it was a lot. And I do have a 3-minute clip of someone reading that, Henry Cavill, actually. And it was just unbroadcastable. But Sarah, Danny, did you ever... Sorry.
I was going to shout out the NGC 40K podcast, which I'm sure you usually wear.
Yeah, they were the best.
I turned off and never listened to it again following the reading of some fan fiction on that. So that was the last fan fiction I interacted with.
Danny, were you ever a writer of fan fiction?
I don't think so. Maybe I may have written some stuff when I was like 18, more excited about Warhammer.
I mean, that's this mid-edition lull. That's pretty hard to not be more excited about it at a different time.
Oh, man,
yeah. But with that in mind, I want you guys to join us for our latest segment and bring up the next slide. Falcon Fiction.
All right.
Okay.
With this expertly cropped photo. Sorry, Val, I just didn't have space in the slide for you to be there too.
There's no room in there for me at all.
Now that is a good bit.
No. Val, I have queued up. Before we press play on this, I do want to put in here. This was a voice cloned reading of fan fiction, which I got Pete's permission to use his voice in a voice cloner. Reading a fan fiction found on a fan site. The fact that the voice you're hearing is of Peter the Falcon Callismo is used to spread this nonsense. Do not take his words as acknowledgement of existence or his personal opinion.
I would also say that you didn't have to use someone else's fanfic. There is a roughly 100% chance that Peter the Falcon has himself written some form of fanfiction.
For sure, that's definitely happened.
Probably multiple genres. And
I feel like I've maybe read some before.
I feel they're going to be better than this, though. Producer Val, why don't you?
Now, once I start, I can't stop, and this is 2 minutes. Because if I stop, it starts from the beginning. So here we go. All right, guys.
You're good. Go. Yeah.
This is a tryout idea. 1. Chapter 1. I draw inspiration for this fic from another fic called An Isot from Grimdark. While it is well written, but it just doesn't feel very Warhammerish. So I decided to try and make my own Warhammer fic, one that has no liberal nonsense or humanitarian BS. If any of you are familiar with my works, then you should know that I'm more of a concept guy, so don't expect well-written, very detailed, with no spelling or grammar errors. My fics are more of a general idea, and I hope that somebody would take my works and improve them, so don't expect much. Story start.
Okay.
The year is 1939 on secret underground German facility. A bunch of men wearing white lab coats with red armbands is seen strolling around the facility on a fast pace, seemingly on the verge of a great discovery. This team of scientists has been working round the clock for half a year now, and they are on the verge of a major discovery. All that is left is one final experiment. They had been researching teleportation technology. With it, then, conquering the world would be an easy task.
Right.
All they had to do is teleport their army to the enemy's capsule. Logistics would also no longer be a problem, as the supplies would just be teleported where they need them. If the experiment is successful, then Germany could conquer the whole world overnight. Forget about rockets or jet engines. Once we get this done, there will be no need for those things, one scientist commented as he input data to the classroom-sized computed. Yeah. Once we have this, then building a 1,000-year Reich would no longer be a dream anymore. Another replied another as he double-checks the data. After which he nudes to the head scientist, an old man with thinning white hair. Well then, gentlemen, let's make history, says the head scientist before pulling a lever. For the 1,000-year Reich, he said as the machine gets charged with electricity. For the 1,000-year Reich, repeated the scientist around. But then something unforeseen happens, which caused the machine to malfunction, which caused a catastrophic failure and resulted in a tear in the fabric of space-time continuum. A bright light flashes across the world, and moments later, Germany is gone from the face of the earth. Meanwhile, an island suddenly appears near the old world.
Oh, no.
Oh, finally. So I will say, you might have noticed I did not correct any spelling or grammatical errors before putting that in there.
I like the nudes to the old Nazi scientist. That was awesome.
Now, they do never say Nazi, and they just hint that they were wearing a red armband. So you never know. It is a work of fiction. Well, guys, what are your thoughts on this first segment of Falcon's Fiction?
Well, I'm glad I'm not in the picture.
Man, Peter's got some really interesting ideas about like the whole background and history of 40K and the setting. So
yeah. Well, so what's interesting is this is not a 40K fan fiction. This is a Warhammer fantasy fan fiction, which is why I wanted you guys to hear.
I did clock that. Yes, Alplan is in fact transposed Germany. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
This is someone who had their dick repeatedly kicked in by high elves in 8th edition. And it's fantastic.
So, guys, finish the story. The Nazi Germany appears in the old world.
Not Nazi Germany.
I'm sorry, 1939 Germany appears in the old world. So we're talking no Poland, I think probably barely Austria. What happens?
Only some light genocide.
Nazis versus the old world. This is sick, actually, because the Dark Elves would just, to quote Marcellus Winston. No, is that right? Anyway, is going to get medieval on their asses, and that'd be fantastic. I can see the Dark Elves just enslaving the whole group. Got nice features, usually well built, strong.
Yeah,
jawbones.
I do like that in the clip. It did say that he wasn't going to focus on any of the liberal BS like grammar or spelling. Just all set up. And then my favorite thing at the end was when he was like, and then some bullshit happened and they were there. There was like at least a third of the story was dedicated to saying how it wasn't like other stories. About an eighth of the story was two scientists having a conversation before an experiment, and then bullshit happened. It was phenomenal. Guys, let us know. Do you like Falcon's Fiction Corner? What else would you like Pete to read? He is, sort of maybe agreed to let us do this. I didn't quite go over the specifics of what I would use the voice for, but that's okay. Mm-hmm. What do you feel is the greatest mistake fan fiction writers make, or when people are making their own narratives or making their own stories? What are some of the greatest mistakes that they make?
Making Nazis are good guys.
Those, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
All you, Danny.
No. Well, mine's easy. I'm just going to say your first mistake was writing fanfic. You should really only write to yourself in the dark and never show it to anybody, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Fair. So Val's suggestion is don't write positively about Nazis. Danny's suggestion, don't write. So I think if we kind of
lost him.
I just lost
I think somewhere in between those two things, maybe.
We managed to lose a sub on "Don't make Nazis your heroes." I'm sorry. If anyone else, this is a chance. If you want to get off the bus on that comment,
fair enough.
Please, we'll leave the door open for a good 5-10 more seconds. You can get out of here. It might get uncomfortable. And then
we'll turn on YouTube's secret not to unsubscribe feature that only we know about. Let's lighten it up a little bit. I have a simple question for you guys. This guy here, who would win 1 trillion lictors or the sun?
From what distance?
What edition?
I mean, does it matter?
Well, I think that
Val 3rd edition, Danny, like an Earth away.
Well, then I think the trillion lictors win because they'll just be able to reproduce.
Well,
also, a trillion lictors from Earth distance, they can blot out the sun, no problem.
Are you trying to composite a world, Danny, where there's just a giant ball of fucking lictors moaning on their way to encompass the sun?
Yeah, they're just going to throw so many lictors at it that it'll eventually blot itself out. It's perfect.
What's it called when you have rats who are in just a tangled ball?
King.
What is it?
A rat king.
A rat king. Yeah, it'd be like a lictor king. Yeah, that's going to take on the sun, no problem.
Yeah, dude.
I'm with Danny, man.
Guys, copyrighted Grim After Dark. It's a tactic for 10th edition as Lictor King. That's okay.
Yeah, it's a Lictor Katamari, John. That's what it is.
Lictor Katamari.
Yeah, dude.
All right, we're going to keep this going with another really simple question for you guys. Danny, as officially a lawyer, you'll be the best place to answer this. You're being convicted of murder. Pick a Primarch to be your lawyer.
Oh, yeah. I actually thought about this. I think I have a good answer. I'm going to pick Lorgar.
Because he's the worst person and lawyers are the worst people?
No, because I think that his oratory is better than any other Primarch. I think he could win on open closing arguments.
Don't care what he does with your penis, Danny. It's about defending you.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. Angron.
I was going to say the same thing because they would be so concerned about the giant murder demon just murdering everyone near him. They will quickly forget about your crime.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're convicted of murder,
everything, and boom, you're off the hook. I mean, or at the very least, the most minor crime in the courtroom would be whatever you were up there for.
I would also like to see just Angron in a very tight suit jacket and very small rectangular glasses in demon form.
His wing biceps just whip through his pinstripe suit. He's sick.
Like when he's like, objection, and she's like, overruled. You're like, ah! And he just kind of trashes the whole courtroom.
Wait a minute, though. If you ever didn't want to speak to the police or whatever, you would never be able to call your lawyer because he would just be in the same room as you and kill you. So it seems like a really bad choice to choose Angron as your lawyer.
No, he guarantees you'll never be
his clerk.
No, Angron guarantees 100% you will never be convicted of murder because he will kill you before you make it to trial.
Yeah, there you go.
The risk I'm willing to take in this hypothetical.
100% success rate because of murder. I think we have one last just simple question and we move on. A simple question here. It says, what would each Primarch do after the Great Crusade if the heresy never happened? Wrong answers only. So I'll just be like, Angron picks up a career in law and he defends the innocent by murdering them before they can be convicted of crimes.
I guess reflect peacefully about what a rewarding relationship they have with their father.
Horus finally makes it back to Terra. He's like, now can we play catch, father? And Emperor's like, nah.
All of Sanguinius' hair falls out. He becomes bald and withered.
He becomes Andrew Tate in the 40s. Oh, no. Oh, we have chat coming in. Angron sits on the couch and gets fat like for Thor.
Like Fat Thor.
I feel like Angron. I feel like Angron in inappropriate situations is a pretty good meme. I'd be surprised if this hasn't been done already.
Copyright Grim After Dark when I choose not to make any shorts next week.
Oh,
we're gonna have a $250 lawsuit over this.
Curse becomes a daytime Walmart greeter.
Daytime only, though. He's got to get home for the Big Bang Theory.
Got to go to bed.
Almagon or Alfarius becomes like the Walmart receipt checker because you're walking out with your wife with your purchases, and all of a sudden you turn around, your wife, Alfarius. She's like, "Did you buy that TV?"
Whoa,
deep.
It's like, no. It says here, Vulcan would start an Eldar orphanage. Would that be because he creates Eldar orphans? I think he does. And then moving on, we have, I call this one Danny's preview corner. Danny, you shared this amazing thing here. This is
the most Middle Earth release in the history of Middle Earth releases. It's like, hey guys, here's a head. I mean, like, it's. I guess it's just a big head.
Solid resin, Danny. I don't know if you read the description. Solid resin, bud.
It doesn't even look like your models can be on top of it. Like, round.
No, Boromir can be shot on it though.
Is this what Boromir's leaning against as he bleeds out?
Maybe.
What the hell is that? Like they talk about this like it's iconic, and I'm like, what is this from? He's right. He's pinned
I was reading here that it says if you're looking to recreate the climactic battle of the Fellowship of the Ring at Amonham, you can't be doing without the most interesting terrain piece then, which is this giant Setrad, which fair enough, but the rest of the terrain was literally trees. So it's really hard to make an interesting tree when they all look this way.
Did you read the description of it, though? It says, Forge World is bringing this fascinating fallen statue to the tabletop with an intricately detailed resin terrain piece cast in one solid piece. So all you need to do is paint it up and hide it amidst the trees. Don't look at it. Just put it in the trees.
Okay, so
Forge World. So Forge World's just like, we need some copywriter, write up some stuff that's like, he's like, what do you need? Like 25, 50 words? Like 200. Go.
ChatGPT's like, I'm out. I got nothing, man. This is just it's a head, guys. I don't know what to say.
Oh, we got some ChatGPT.
I've been scanning through this entire battle sequence. I have yet to see this head. There's some Sphinx-like characters.
Yeah.
Sir, it's the most interesting statue or piece of scenery from the end.
Is Legolas on it? Nope. Honestly, I've not seen it feature at all. Does anyone else know what's going on here? I call bullshit.
No. Oh, no. I think they asked a copywriter to give them 200 words for something they needed 5. But that's okay. Guys, we're going to be better.
You know who put them up to this? It was that Zorp guy.
No, Zorp. Screw that guy.
Moving on.
I asked all of us before the show started tonight to fill out this right here. This was shared. It's take the VT quiz to discover your strategy IQ and have your information sold. Get a detailed report on your strengths and weaknesses. Our diagnostic report gives you personalized insights into your gameplay style and habits. Link in bio. All because Val's getting prepared to play 10th edition Warhammer 40,000 with his beautiful orc army.
Not if the subs keep going down.
Into Rich's fantastic world leader army. Yeah. Kelsey there said he failed and got all weaknesses, which is a strength in itself that he can admit that.
That's powerful.
But guys, talk me through this quiz. How do we do? What are your numbers at? What's everyone's score?
Well, I mean, I came through with what I'd like to call a solid high school grade of 50%.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
dang. Wow. Wow.
Nice.
Danny, what'd you get?
Yeah.
I got a 78%.
Wow. It's a good thing they didn't have you hooked up to a lie detector filling this out. I got a good old 45.
Whoa.
Wow.
With my big droppers being post-game analysis and aspirations and goals. Because whenever it asked the aspirations and goals section killed my score because it asked me, let me go here. It says your responses suggest that you're in the early stages of setting aspirations and goals for your Warhammer 40k journey. And I'm like, no, I just don't care. Danny, what was your lowest section?
Aspirations and goals. I had
Beautiful.
58 because they asked me if I was interested in getting I don't know, better or whatever, interested in doing more of one thing, and I was like no on a couple of the questions. So I'm sure that's why I nuked my score.
If you wanted paid coaching, you would have had 100% on that. Val, what's your lowest section?
My lowest section was
the lowest score.
My lowest score was playing experience, 40%, which feels high.
It does feel pretty high.
Well,
I mean, I was. So I watched Peter the Falcon got a little nostalgic for a little show called the 40K Jason Show over the weekend, and it prompted me to go watch an episode, and I kind of forgot what a GW apologist I was before I went and streamed a bunch of GW events, and it was a different man.
Hey, we got our person
100 pounds
back.
lighter. What?
Wasn't your nickname on the 40K Jason Show Val from corporate?
If it was, like many things on the 40K Jason Show, they didn't say that in front of me.
They literally introduced you as that every week.
No, they didn't.
They did. They absolutely did. Dicky, back me up on this.
I can't remember.
The show did end roughly after I started doing anything with GW. Not saying it was a coincidence, but it wasn't a coincidence.
Oh.
Oh, not from GW. It's old Robbo. But also
popular
a
boy.
lot of other things. A lot of other things. Anyway, Jason Show coming back
things.
Thursday.
Wow.
Oh, it is? Wow.
For real?
Yeah, we're gonna do an episode.
Okay.
There's no reason Peter shouldn't always be on the old world show we do.
He should be on the old world.
Yeah,
show.
sure.
Yeah.
He loves
aside from the
talking
fact
about
that he would know, it would immediately go back to the way it was, which he'd know way more than I do, and I just have to derail the conversation all the time.
But
your knowledge base.
he does have a lot of info about fan fiction that we're going to exploit over the next month or so.
Perfect.
This one here, can I remember if I've done this one before? No, but we're going to throw it up again anyway. This guy here says, when people see my model collection and think I'm rich, bro, I'm just irresponsible. Guys, what is the most irresponsible purchase that you've ever made?
Oh, man.
Deal with
That's not fair. All of it?
No, one thing. What is the most irresponsible thing you have purchased for your wargaming hobby?
Don't do this to them. This is awful.
I'm not answering that question. I'm going to be totally honest.
I'm just so out of touch. I've rationalized myself to so out of control that I don't even know. I could probably just casually embarrass myself and not realize that I said something embarrassing here.
Okay, I guess we can make it a little.
I'm looking at basically every army from Warhammer Fantasy.
I have one.
Dickie's got one.
Yeah,
Dickie's
got one. You guys think about it. So mine is a replica of Karn the Betrayer's helmet.
How much did it cost, Dicky?
It's too much money.
No, you know exactly. You
I
just
know.
Don't want it.
It was $500 or something dumb like that. It was just
Yeah,
it was
a good one.
silly. It was silly.
I believe that was your Bretonian money too, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was a tough day.
Oh man.
And now he gets to be the coolest guy at the RTT when he goes 2-1 with World Eaters
helmet.
while wearing a Karn helmet.
You can't wear the helmet and be normal. No,
Okay, I would say I'm gonna go with commission painting 140 Tau Fire Warriors.
Oh my god!
Oh,
my!
that you don't even own anymore.
Yeah, that now are owned by Anthony Birdsong. So I don't even know what. I don't know if he divested. I know he sold his store. I don't know if he sold his collections. So I don't know who owns the Tau right now. I assume it's Birdsong.
You know,
but yeah, that alone was just an absurd thing.
That was incredibly expensive for most people. I hear, though, our friends and sponsors over at frontlinegaming.org have really good, reasonable rates for commission painting. And you can contact them for a quote today. It's just what I heard. Who knows?
That's
okay,
awesome.
let's turn this back and be more positive. Get you guys out of the fear state. What is the most responsible purchase that you've made for wargaming?
There's such thing.
Yeah.
The most responsible thing. Probably like anything I buy for storage for like miniatures. Like anytime
like thousands of dollars of unboxed miniatures. You bought those for storage.
Right.
For the first like 2 years of me being into 40K, I was very obsessed with breaking even. So like I basically had like a buy and selling operation. So I would just buy up like lots of like, so I sold, actually the first night I sold all of my old Warhammer Fantasy armies. Well, it was all my old Empire pewter, which actually did wind up coming back to me for more than I sold it for. So there's a dumb one. But anyway, and then I would just break them up. I would keep a few pieces and sell it on, keep a few pieces and sell it on. And like within a year or two, I just had so much stuff. It was ridiculous. And that's how I got the commission painting bug, because I had everything I wanted, so I kept like chopping things and paying for painting. But the Fire Warriors were definitely well.
Here's the most responsible way Danny, you financed your Warhammer stuff, is you just went to a very soft meta in Alaska and continued to win 16 to 20 person tournaments. And then you just used store credit to purchase literally everything.
Yep, that was pretty great. Yeah, that was awesome. I think I won every event for like 12 months.
What was really funny was the week where you said, "Hey, I'm not going to be there this Saturday. Have fun, guys." And 3 people who usually don't go showed up with net lists.
Gene, the store owner asked me to stop like saying I was coming to events because it improved the performance and just to show up day of. She just saved me a spot.
Quick question on the Vanguard Tactics quiz. What did you get for fair play and being a great opponent?
I got a 100%.
Oh, damn.
How was your honesty score?
Self-testing.
I'm a fun opponent, I think. I don't know. I can be really fun. I can also be terrible. It asked me a question and said, like, how often do you get upset? And I said, sometimes.
Sometimes, at least sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, if sometimes means like sometimes every game, like.
No, I don't know. I think I've won best sport at a tournament before, at a GT, in fact.
Yeah.
So
GT's grand total of 1 person. That's what GT stood for. I'm kidding. You're a good sport. You're a good sport. Let's pull Dicky in for this next slide here as well. This is a very simple question to kind of get us a little palate cleanser, if you will. I found this picture about a month and a half ago about who would win this fight. Karn the Betrayer or the Doom guy. Or if I could rephrase this for Dicky, a demon protected warrior in Karn who's insane, or a person who's literally killed Satan and God.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a pretty good matchup right here.
You can't kill Karn though. I mean, like,
is he blowing Karn?
It looks like it.
This is actually a teaser.
You gotta beat him.
This is a teaser for next week's fanfic.
Awesome.
There is Doom fanfic, which is terrible. There was also a Halo / Warhammer 40,000 fanfic.
Oh,
it's
man.
all very bad.
Oh, I bet.
And it took me about an hour to find one which only had overt references to Nazism and that stuff. A lot of it was just it was very uncomfortable. Like I translated one, and then halfway through I'm like, oh yeah, this can't be a thing.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic. But yeah, I didn't get answered. Dude, who wins? Karn or the guy blowing Karn?
I mean, obviously, Karn is
I
winning.
think Car
this
wins that. Yeah,
more.
like
Yeah.
99%.
Oh, Val,
Yeah.
Karn or Doom guy. Just
I
Karn
just gotta
blow
feel
his
like
sleeve?
you spell out, man. Like he's killed Satan and God,
Can't
and
kill
also
Karn. Can't kill Karn.
I'm telling you, like he's trained his whole life for this. All he does is shred demons. Like it's literally his gerb. That's all he does, man.
Oh,
like so I kind
shred
of feel like Doom guy.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he's shredding him.
he's shredding them. All right.
Shredding.
Oh yeah,
Inch by
Hey, man,
inch.
he does what it takes.
right down the pipe.
Eee.
Just think of the QuickTime event for that fight. Anyway, moving on. This next one here, Daddy. I did this just for your big return to the show.
Hey.
Good old
Oh,
Seinfeld
fantastic.
meme. Danny, what are we looking at for the audio listener when we forget to upload? the podcast?
So in
So
the
good.
Kenny Rogers Roasters episode of Seinfeld, the Kenny Brothers Roasters opens up across the street from Kramer's apartment, which is across the way from Jerry's apartment, and the red light from the sign just is constant and lights up Kramer's apartment all the time and slowly drives him insane. So the meme is based on that, where Jerry knocks on the door and says, "Kramer, what's going on in there?" And he looks behind him, and there's a Land Raider on fire and Terra burning. And Kramer turns to Jerry and says, "Horace has betrayed us, Jerry."
So good.
So this is obviously a reference to the Horus heresy.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Wow.
So,
I will ask both you guys. I got to check here, Val. What's your Seinfeld knowledge like? Pretty good, middling.
I mean, I don't know if I'd have to do a Vanguard tactics course on it.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I have a quiz, but I will ask you guys. Each actor from Seinfeld is cast to play a Primarch.
Oh.
Who does each play?
Okay, I gotta read. I gotta read the Wikipedia Primarch article. Like, just like I need a synopsis. I just need I need a popsicle flavor for each one of these guys, just to have sort of a vibe check on each one.
Go down the. It's probably easier if you went down the list, John, of Primarchs, and they can
I mean,
add.
that's a lot.
There's a lot there. Danny, why don't you take this away? Like, you're deep in thought there.
That's a
You're
lot.
kind of
Yeah,
happy that.
so wait, am I just talking about the formed main characters of Seinfeld,
No.
or
Yes.
Oh.
okay?
Well, you can do whoever if you want to be like.
If
crazy
you don't
and be
do
like,
Newman, I'll be upset.
Jerry's
Okay.
girlfriend from
Jerry?
season 4, episode
No,
13.
not that one.
Jerry himself, though.
Susan. What about
Man hands.
Danny.
Who's Man
Yeah.
hands?
what about what about his uncle, or isn't who else is it? Isn't what's that old dude's name who's in there, who's who's his uncle, who's Costanza's uncle or whatever, right?
Ben Stiller's dad.
Jerry Stiller.
Well,
Jerry Stiller.
Jerry Stiller is there. Obviously that's George's dad.
Yeah.
All right, so let's
Yeah.
pick any of them.
Fuck,
Let me
dude,
give you
that's
some
so
constraints
many.
here, guys. Okay, whatever fills 2 to 3 minutes of time.
Yeah. I'm gonna make this a short, obviously. So let's hurry it up.
Yeah,
Well, that'd be one-ish minute.
Yeah. 60 seconds.
yeah. Ideally, whoever made shorts this week was like 10, 15 seconds.
All right.
It was
So-
me. Sorry.
George is obviously Vulcan.
Okay. Well,
Why? Obviously.
I don't know.
Well, because he's unkillable. All kinds of bad
Oh,
shit happens to him all the time. He's
Interesting.
a
But isn't
perpetual.
Vulcan the
really.
one decent Primarch? Isn't that a thing?
He's a
Well,
nice
yeah,
guy.
but none of them are decent. So I mean, we would never
They're all
find
terrible
anybody
people.
to
Yeah.
They're all
fill
bad.
him with his character.
I do enjoy how much thought you're putting into this.
No, it's none of these. No, they're just all terrible people. I just am having trouble lining them up to a
The
particular.
Primarchs aren't
Primarch.
exactly the best people.
So I would say maybe Elaine would be a good. Like, would you say Angron, or would you say Elaine would be like a good Mortarian, or would Kramer be Mortarian?
Oh,
Because his craziness could have
Kramer could
infected
definitely be
things.
Mortarian.
All right. I feel like Kramer is the con because he's inscrutable. You have no idea what he's thinking.
Huh.
And he comes from out of nowhere with speed. Like every time he shows up on scene, he's just flying into a door. Like
much like the Khan himself. He's like a cat with a laser pointer.
Right, exactly.
Kramer Khan.
And then, guys, the most important one, Jerry. Who's Jerry?
I mean, I don't know. Jerry has got like a frenetic energy. They all have that though. Like that's part of the oh, this is terrible, John.
We should put a time clock on him. It would have been way better.
Yeah.
So I've got ChatGPT's answers here.
Yeah, go.
Oh, okay, ChatGPT.
So we got Lionel Johnson, played by Jerry Seinfeld, a meticulous and calculating leader, always seeking the truth. Fulgrim, the Phoenician, played by Elaine Bennis, a talented and charismatic artist.
Going to be interrupt you real quick. I was sitting here. I'm wearing dark glasses so I can't see. My black Labrador, just the head popped up between my legs and scared the shit out of me when Val was talking. Oh, please continue.
Life under a bunk bed. Every now and then you get attacked by a dog. It's how it goes.
So Elaine Fulgrim?
Hey, look, I'm not an artificial intelligence, okay? I'm just a messenger.
She's always seeking perfection, like when she's looking for the man who's sponge-worthy, for instance.
Huh.
So
dangerously self-absorbed and hedonistic streak.
Yeah.
Perturabo was the pick for George Costanza.
Oh, he is bitter.
He's just a bitter little man. Yeah.
An expert engineer with a chip on his shoulder and a tendency towards explosive tantrums. Jagatai Khan, the Great Khan, played by Kramer.
Yeah.
A wild and unpredictable warrior, always eager.
Danny.
Okay, this is what I suspect will be controversial on ChatGPT's part. Lehman Russ, the Wolf King, played by Newman. Fierce and cunning warrior, always looking for a good fight, but with a sly and devious streak. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I kind of see it. That's actually pretty good.
You just see Magnus coming in and being like,
"Yeah, these are outstanding." Can I keep going?
Yeah.
ChatGPT's on fire.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got Rogel Dorn, the Praetorian, played by David Putty.
Yeah, Putty.
A stoic and unyielding defender of the Imperium with an unwavering loyalty. Conrad Cruz, the Night Hunter, played by Uncle Leo. Who plays Sanguinius? These are all excellent. Jackie Giles.
Jackie
Did I tell you to put the bomb on? Who told you to put the bomb on?
Yeah,
that was real fantastic. Anyway, there we go.
Really fun.
Oh, moving on. This is our last thing we're going to have here. It's our listener question segment. You can join in too. Go to grimafterdark.com. Give us money. And then you join our crappy Discord and you can ask us questions that we will answer live on air. We have this here on the red background slide. There we go.
Got it.
This isn't a question, but a suggestion saying ChatGPT 10th edition rules. And then Gannon saying the real test would be how can the AI insert Games Workshop's telltale grammatical anomalies and strange wording to make even the most straightforward rule ambiguous. So, guys, I'm going to be real. I tried this for about 30 minutes. ChatGPT refused to make complicated rules for war games. They said, as a games designer, I was like, you will play the character of a games designer. You are adding more complexity and depth to Warhammer 40K. Please make the most complex rule that you can think of. And he's like, that goes against my ethics as a game designer to make games accessible and enjoyable. But I did spend about an hour with different prompts pushing stuff through. And what I came up with was it gave me a suggestion of this next slide, which is this rule here, which is called Lemur engines, which is vehicles equipped with Lemur engines have a special ability that allows them to move in unpredictable ways on the battlefield. Essentially, the vehicle generates a series of random numbers based on Lemur's theorem, and the player can use these numbers to determine the vehicle's movement and position on the battlefield. This could make the vehicle more difficult to predict and counter and could add a new level of strategic depth to the game. Guys, as an example of this, I actually made a 10th edition card that properly represented this movement. If you want to throw that up there, Dicky. Perfect. Guys, what do you think of the stats of the Lemur engine?
Yeah, that looks pretty complicated. I like that it can hold that it counts as two models for holding objectives.
Yeah, that one's set. There's no randomness there. You got to have some.
Do you think Tech Priest Lemmer is in a competition with Ark and Land? If so, what is Lemmer's first name?
I don't know, but this challenge goes out.
Land.
Also Ark.
Lemmer. No. Bueller Lemmer.
Bueller.
Lemmer is his first name. Party is his second.
Old Lemmer. You gotta watch that guy. Got a wicked top.
But this no doubt will make it as a short somehow. But to our friends at Stat Check, I lay this open challenge out to you. What is this vehicle's movement? You tell us. You do math. We don't. We just make crappy fan fiction jokes and voice cloning things.
In 10th, would everything just move 6 again? That'd be funny if they did that.
That'd be pretty hilarious.
Pretty hilarious. But yeah, Stats Daddy, use your biological doctorate to tell us how math works.
Yeah, please.
Please do. Guys, that's all I've got for today lined up here. What do you guys want to throw in before we leave on out?
Danny, how you feeling about those 10th explainers so far?
Oh, you got some hot takes. Yeah.
They seem pretty fun. I wanted to talk a little bit about that Tyranid that they previewed today, but are we going to do that next week? Do you want me to save my hot takes for the Prime?
We can do it whenever. There'll be more Tyranids next week. So tell us your hot take on the Prime. I think you're
terrible model.
It's a power bottom.
What's that?
It's a power bottom. All the thrust is generated from the bottom.
Yeah, his wings are in the middle of his torso. Like, he's such a weirdly designed model. Like, he's got wings, and then over his wing arms are his talon arms. And then they have him. Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Oh, look at Dicky on the.
First of all, scroll down a little bit, Dicky, on this page. Like, there's the picture of him from the video, like the computer generated. Yeah, a little bit more. It's the next picture down.
Oh, I was trying to figure out what that was. Like, okay, I get it.
Look how cool look how cool that is, right? As a pose. And then go back up to what we got. And then we got that. And it looks like somebody got a hold of him and like they wanted to model him for Advantage. And so they put his wings up and like made him like real small and like hunched over and like he's bent over and double, like, and you know, like so we can hide a little bit
showing
better.
This guy up right now. Like, just
what I think happened was someone made the model like you see in the video. The CG animators like, that's cool, let's use that in the video. Yeah. And then GW Corporate came in and they were like, hey, that's super easy to 3D print. Can we make that a little bit more complicated? Have like a little bit more underpassing? Like, well, we'd have to fold the wings all the way down. Like, perfect, do it. And that's sort of where that came from there.
Maybe.
Danny, this is now like what, the second model, a third model technically, including the Rippers that we've seen of the new Tyranid range?
Yeah, I think this is the only one that was been a bust for me, really. I like all the other ones. But yeah, this one seems kind of dumb. Like the Lictor variant was awesome. Those things are really cool. The new Gaunts are really cool. But this one seems like maybe a miss.
If you could change it so the arms were on top, generating what you believe is realistic thrust for this created alien piece of biomass killing machine, would you believe that would be the right thing to do?
You know, I would definitely build the model that way if I had the choice. You know, I'm not a believer of, you know, there being so much power generated at the bottom. You know, I'm kind of more of a top powered model.
So you're not a power bottom?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No. Got it.
Do you believe, Val, when we're talking specifically about Tyranids here and Tyranid flight, that the power of the thrust comes from the underneath, or would it be better if it was on top?
Look, just all I can think of is my training in the Air Cadets, which was, of course, combustion engines, suck, bang, blow. And Tyranids they don't have that. Even a Prime doesn't have that ability.
No.
So therefore, second rate, I think, to the creations of the Imperial Man.
Yeah. What is important is it does have hollow bones. and that's all that matters.
It's got bird bones.
Hollow chitin, even better. Danny, what other takes you got about Tyranids? I love this.
This guy's got wimpy bird bones. So like if there's advertised that this model has like hollow bones, that's what I want in my leader, is somebody with hollow bones, like somebody with weak bird bones. Give me that guy. He sounds really tough.
Weak
I really want to play with this guy, you know.
His stuff does look like a delicious crab claw. His horn there.
Yeah.
Want to just like crack them open with a little slice of lemon?
I think I had something like that at the Bacchanal Buffet in Vegas.
Oh, well, guys, you get more of this here soon. Who knows? You're about to go on the best 3 weeks of Grim After Dark ever as I leave. As I leave for 3 whole weeks, as I go on a undeserved vacation. What are we looking at here? Oh,
So
Warhammer
Warhammer
Fest is going to be this weekend, guys. Excited to hear your thoughts on that next week. And then after that,
are you going to go to Manchester?
Sunday.
I arrive in the UK on Wednesday, or Tuesday, so I miss it by 2 days. So I'm very sad about that. But yes, you'll be in the capable hands of Val, Danny, Dicky, whoever else is pulled on. Will they talk about old world?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT taking over the host chair.
Without John here, we're gonna need its help big time.
If you look at Sunday, there is the 2 p.m. slot is Warhammer: The Old World. Will they mention it? Who knows? Tune in next week to find out. Guys, for Val, for Danny, thank you so much for joining in Grim After Dark. Not for Dicky, he hates all you guys. Go to grimafterdark.com. That is where all of our stuff is. Check out the shorts that we've been throwing out. There's been some fever dream shorts last week. Next week coming up should be better. Fingers crossed. But stay safe, stay warhammered, and I'll see you in like June, I guess.
What?
It's a long time.
That is a long time. Hey, Val, over the ending TV, though, you should probably just play that Fanfiction again.
Fic from another fic called an ISOT from Grimdark. Well, it is well written, but it just doesn't feel very Warhammerish. So I decided to try and make my own Warhammer fic, one that has no liberal nonsense or humanitarian BS. If any of you are familiar with my works, then you should know that I'm more of a concept guy, so don't expect well-written, very detailed, with no spelling or grammar errors. My fics are more of a general idea, and I hope that somebody would take my works and improve them, so don't expect much. Story start. The year is 1939 on secret underground German facility. A bunch of men wearing white lab coats with red armbands is seen strolling around the facility on a fast pace, seemingly on the verge of a great discovery. This team of scientists has been working round the clock for half a year now, and they are on the verge of a major discovery. All that is left is one final experiment. They had been researching teleportation technology. With it, then, conquering the world would be an easy task. All they had to do is teleport their army to the enemy's capsule. Logistics would also no longer be a problem, as the supplies would just be teleported where they need them. If the experiment is successful, then Germany could conquer the whole world overnight.
That means no
Forget about rockets or jet engines. Once we get this done, there will be no need for those things, one scientist commented as he input data to the classroom-sized computed. Yeah, once we have this, then building 1,000-year Reich would no longer be a dream anymore. Another replied another as he double-checks the data. After which he nudes to the head scientist, an old man with thinning white hair. Well then, gentlemen, let's make history, says the head scientist before pulling a lever. For the 1,000-year Reich, he said as the machine gets charged with electricity.